Honorable Chief Guest, His Excellency Dr. Khalfan Al-Shuaili, Minister of Housing and Urban Planning, His Excellency Sheikh Salim bin Mustahil Al-Mashani, Your Excellencies and distinguished guests, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. On behalf of United Media Services, we welcome you to the Dossier Construction Awards and Summit 2021, an exclusive construction, infrastructure, and real estate industry event organized under the auspices of the Ministry of Housing and Urban Planning and supported by Oman Real Estate Association. We take this opportunity to thank our strategic partner, Raisut Cement Company, real estate partner Al Usul, associate partner Al Khalili Group, knowledge partner Atkins SNC Lavalin, real estate services partner Tibian Properties, support partners Futun, best infrastructure developers Maysan Properties, MRP Advisory, Wow Cinema, managed by Grand Entertainment, Middle East Engineering Solutions, Voltamp, our design engineering consultant, F&M Middle East Media Partners, OARLive.com, Alam Al-Iqtisad, Times of Oman, and Al-Shabiba. Today's event is managed by UMS Events, the specialist events and conferences arm of United Media Services, UMS. This event is instituted by Dossier magazine, published by United Media Services, part of Muscat Overseas Group. Launched in 2007, Dossier was Oman's first business-to-business B2B magazine. It's published on construction, infrastructure, real estate, design, and engineering sectors. This year marks the 9th edition. The objective of the Dossier Construction Awards and Summit is to drive the exchange of knowledge and best practices within the industry and facilitate the best of the best within the construction, infrastructure, real estate, design engineering, and construction materials industries. Before we start the proceedings, let's have a short video on the journey of the Dossier Construction Awards and Summit. This evening, we have lined up a presentation on construction claims, a panel discussion, and the awards ceremony. We will start with a welcome address by Mr. Atulya Sharma, CEO of United Media Services. Let's all give him a big welcome together.
Your Excellencies and distinguished guests, Assalamu alaikum and a very good evening. On behalf of His Excellency Sheikh Salim bin Mustahil Al Mashni, I would like to extend a warm welcome to each one of you to this, the 9th edition of the Dossier Construction Awards and Summit. We are grateful to His Excellency Dr. Khalfan As-Shuaili, the Minister of Housing and Urban Planning, for gracing today's event. Thank you, Your Excellency. The event is aimed at exploring the new trends and developments in the areas including real estate development and services, construction works, infrastructure, civil and industrial projects, building materials manufacturing and trading, design and engineering, and of course, related industry policies and the regulatory framework. Ladies and gentlemen, the world has continued to grapple with the COVID pandemic for the second year in a row. And just when we thought we are getting out of the woods, we are now hearing about the new Omicron virus, and it is a serious cause of concern. Under this challenging economic environment, the projects, construction, real estate, and manufacturing sectors and related businesses have continued to remain under tremendous pressure, and you people know that better than I do. Having said that, there is a positive side of the story as well. In the last 1 to 2 years, we have seen that a number of ongoing major projects have happened in the sectors of oil and gas, renewable energy, tourism, infrastructure, manufacturing, healthcare, and real estate. And they've either been completed or are in advanced stages of completion, despite this challenging environment. So that is really commendable. Oman Investment Authority alone accounts for 13 such projects with an outlay of 3.5 billion Omani riyals. Many new large to mid-scale projects across sectors have also been announced or initiated this year. To give a few examples, over 100 million Omani riyals project related to roads, airport, and education was assigned by Oman Tender Board just 2 months ago. A week ago, a mixed-use development project worth over Omani riyals 400 million was launched in Kuryat. Oman has also launched the Yiti Integrated Tourism Development Project recently. 2 solar energy projects at Mana with a cumulative investment of 300 million Omani riyals have also been announced recently. A number of mid-sized real estate projects in commercial and residential segments have also been announced during the year. The government, especially bodies including the Ministry of Housing and Urban Planning, has introduced a number of policy and regulatory changes to provide relief to the industry, improve the ease of doing business, and create new investment and business opportunities. In alignment with His Majesty Sultan Haitham bin Tariq's Vision 2040, the Ministry of Housing and Urban Planning has also launched the Oman National Spatial Strategy, or ONSS in short. It is a very comprehensive framework for directing, organizing, and implementing sustainable, high-quality urban and rural developments in the Sultanate in the next 20 years. The strategy envisages a 32% rise in national manpower, annual GDP growth of 5%, and a 10% contribution to FDI in terms of the GDP ratio. Another key recent ministry initiative has been the launch of 5 new integrated housing development projects at Al Amrat, Bidbid, Asib, and Nakhal under the Al Suru or As-Suru scheme. Modeled on the lines of public-private partnership model of the successful High Al Nasim project in Barka, the 5 new developments are aimed at offering 4,800 housing units for around 24,000 people. Ladies and gentlemen, you would agree that there is no silver bullet to overcome the complex web of challenges facing the sector today. But these developments show that Oman is making a steady progress in overcoming short-term challenges as well as pursuing the long-term sustainable agenda. We will explore and deliberate on these developments and the way ahead for the industry with the help of our speakers and experts this evening. We will also be celebrating the success of the select companies, projects, initiatives, and industry leaders and professionals that have excelled despite these odds. As we draw to the close of 2021, on behalf of United Media Services, I would like to thank all our friends, sponsors, contributors, and well-wishers who have stood by us across our multiple businesses such as publishing, digital offerings, events, advertising, corporate communications, social media, distribution, and interactive. We draw strength from your confidence, and thank you so much for that. On this note, I will leave the stage for the experts to take the event forward. Thanks once again for joining us today, and I hope you have a wonderful summit. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Sharma. Next is a presentation on construction claims and disputes by Mr. Rohit Singhal. He is the CEO of Mason, a leading international construction arbitration expert firm. Before Mason, he was the CEO of a major international oil and gas EPC contractor. He has over 25 years of international experience involving construction contract disputes, expert testimony, and project management. Please welcome Mr. Singhal on stage.
Assalamu alaikum, good evening everyone. The first presentation in this Dossier Summit is on disputes, claims. Probably not the right way to start, but that's the pain point of the industry today. And therefore this needs attention of all the people who are sitting in this august gathering. My name is Rohit Singhal and I deal with claims and disputes related to the construction industry. And I belong to a company called Mason, which is into similar kind of arena. We have dealt with more than billions and billions of dollars of claims and disputes in Oman, outside Oman, internationally and domestically. So let me first go to the major issue that why a construction project ends up into a dispute. What are the typical causes? And this is based on my experience of having dealt with disputes and claims within the country. The typical reasons and factors causing the disputes are, first, the unfulfillment of the parties' contractual obligations. What happens is, there is a contractor, there is an employer, both the parties have a contract in between them, and in case one of the parties does not fulfill the obligations, that is one of the prime causes, or what we call as the breach of the contract. The second is the engineering delays, which is very, very common in the industry today. So engineering delays could be, in case a typical EPC contract, which is engineering, procurement, construction contract is awarded, which is very common in the oil and gas sector, or it is any kind of a contract which has got a component of engineering, there are engineering delays. The drawings are not delivered on time, or there are changes in the drawing, or else if the contractor is preparing the drawing and submits the drawing for the approval of the employer delays the approval of the drawing, and therefore there are engineering delays. Then comes, because of the consequential impact of engineering delays, comes the procurement delays. Nowadays, also as Mr. Sharma just said, we have been grappling with COVID-19, and the procurement industry has been heavily affected by COVID-19. So you have got procurement delays. Let's say a material has to come from international territories, other countries. COVID-19 is probably prevailing in those countries. It's not there in Oman, but in other countries. So those procurement delays are there. Then you have got the interface delays, which is also very common in oil and gas, power sector and all, where let's say you have got multiple contractors working at one place, at one site, and one contractor has to depend on the inputs from the other contractor, and let's say one contractor delays, and as a result of which the other contractors are also delayed, which is called interface delays or interface management between multiple contractors. Then you have got the non-payment of certified work. So all these issues which I'm highlighting in these slides are the typical top 5-7 issues which we have come across in Oman when we have dealt with claims and disputes on behalf of both contractors and employers. The non-payment of certified payments, that is one of the very common causes, especially between a contractor and a subcontractor dispute, where certified works are done, certified, but the payments are not done, and as a result of which there is a massive cash flow deficit or an impact on the financial conditions of the contractor. Variations or changes in the contract specifications. So a contractor is bidding a price, or there is a price which is quoted in the tender, and finally the contract is awarded based on certain set parameters, what we call as contract specifications. that in case a specification requires a room of or a house of X by Y size, that is a contract specification. But tomorrow, if there is a change in the contract specification, that results in both cost and time overrun. Unforeseeable circumstance. One of the most common impact or issue which we have seen in Oman is specifically related to unforeseeable circumstances, which we call as the soil conditions. So what is happening is there is a soil investigation report which is attached to the contract, and when the contractor goes to site, the soil conditions are found to be different than what are specified in the contract terms and conditions. And therefore, a contractor who has bid in X amount of money towards excavation, filling and all, very typically in a civil project of road, housing, etc., then they get to know that the soil conditions are quite different than what they had bidded for, and as a result of which, again, extra cost, extra time. And then COVID-19 delays. Today, as we see that for last 2 years or so, since start of 2020, or probably first quarter of 2020, you have a lot of COVID-19 related delays, which are resulting in loss of productivity of the contractors. They are unable to get manpower, they are unable to produce the way they would have expected and envisaged, and therefore there are delays and time and cost overruns. Now, all the typical contracts which are there have got various methods of resolving disputes which come into play when a contractor and an employer have disagreement on the obligations and the terms and conditions. Now, majority of the construction contracts in Oman are governed by arbitration or have arbitration clauses. And these arbitration clauses are typically governed by Omani law. Generally, arbitration is the set form of dispute resolution in construction contracts, for the prime reason that construction contracts are document-heavy contracts. A lot of facts are there, a lot of exchange of correspondences and documents are there, and courts are generally not the best form of resolving a dispute between a contractor and employer. So generally, the contracts have arbitration clause. But one thing which we always suggest and we always recommend is that before you get into any arbitration or dispute, please try to resolve it amicably, sit across the table, and in case the intentions of both the parties are positives, definitely amicable settlement can be explored and can be reached. And we have seen that a majority of the circumstances, when the dispute arises, claims are there, counterclaims are there, but at the end of the day, when the intent at the top management level is to resolve and amicably settle the issue, it results in amicable settlements. Then both the parties have to understand that they are there to make money. The developer has to make money from the final product which is going to be delivered by the contractor, and the contractor has to make money from the services it is being provided. So in case the parties understand each other's position, understand that what the parties are saying are for the overall benefit and meeting the objective of the project, a win-win scenario can be explored. And honestly, delays are bad for both the parties. Today, a project manager of a developer or an employer cannot go back and say that, look, I have deducted liquidated damages or penalty because of the delay from the contractor and I have earned money. No, probably the amount of money which a developer will lose because of a delay in the project is going to be more than probably the liquidated damages which are going to be levied onto the contractor. So therefore, delays are bad for the developer. Same way, if a contractor delays the project, then contractor is also going to suffer additional damages, losses because of the additional stay of their resources at site. So therefore, practicality while respecting contract terms and conditions is most important, which can avoid disputes and claims. And that is what is one of the suggestions which we give as pre-arbitration conduct. Then proper documentation management, record keeping is very important. What are the facts, what are the letters which have been exchanged, how they have been there, helps in resolving the dispute in an amicable fashion. And then when you have explored all the possible steps and still you think that arbitration is mandatory and there is no other way out other than arbitration, then it is mandatory that the pre-arbitration steps which are defined in the contract are complied with. Every contract in Oman, whether the Omani standard, which are governed by the Omani standard conditions, or even PDO contracts or other contracts in other sectors, have got pre-arbitration steps. So you cannot enter into arbitration just by issuing a notice of arbitration. You have to have first an engineered determination of a dispute, followed by a cycle or few days of amicable settlement and discussion, And then only when all these pre-arbitration steps have failed, you can get into arbitration. And imagine these contracts are giving you time to see and resolve the disputes rather than to get into dispute or rather than to get into arbitration. And honestly, wherever we have been involved, we have brought major disputes to settlement when we sit across the table with the employer and are following those pre-arbitration steps. Now let me talk of construction arbitration. In the worst possible case, nothing happens and finally a contractor and an employer enters into arbitration. Then what is a typical life cycle of a construction arbitration? So basically a typical construction arbitration can be divided into three phases. First is the administrative stage, second is the pleadings and expert report stage, and third is the final cross-examination stage. So in the very first stage, when you have, which is called the administrative stage, you issue a request for arbitration, which is generally done by the suffering party, which could be claimant, which is the contractor, or could be the employer. Then followed by this request for arbitration is replied by the other party, and then you have to nominate the arbitration tribunal. So typically in Oman, under the Oman standard conditions, there are 3 arbitrators which are appointed. 1 arbitrator by each party, which is 1 arbitrator by contractor, 1 arbitrator by the employer, and then both of them nominate the chair of the tribunal, which is the chairman of the arbitration panel. And then you have got the terms of reference which are finalized, which we call as the finalization of TOR. Now once all this is done, the arbitration panel is there in place, and then it is the start of the arbitration process. And then when we move to pleadings and expert report stage. So the first step in pleading stage is that the claimant, whosoever is the one who has started the arbitration, submits its statement of claim, and then the statement of claim lists down what are the issues which the claimant is trying to raise as part of the arbitration process, as part of its dispute. Once the statement of claim is submitted, the other party replies to it and gives its position on the various claims which have been raised by the claimant, which we call as the statement of defense. And along with that, or rather once the statement of defense is submitted, then we have got what is called as the reply to the statement of defense. So the first party, which is the suffering party or the claimant, basically then replies to the statement of defense, which we call as the reply to statement of defense. And then followed by a respondent's rejoinder, which is then reply to the reply submitted by the claimant to the statement of defense. So there are 4 documents which are being exchanged, 2 documents by the claimant, 2 documents by the respondent. Claimant is the one who has claimed the money, is claiming the money in the arbitration, and the respondent is the one who is defending the arbitration. And then along with these, there are fact witness statements. Basically, these are the statements which are given by the people who have been involved in the project, like project manager, supervisors, and the engineers. Whosoever has been involved in the project, they give their written statements to tell what actually has happened. And then along with that are the expert reports. Basically, in arbitration, because these are complicated issues, engineering issues, delay issues, money issues, generally experts are engaged either by the arbitration tribunal or by the parties. And then these experts give their independent expert report to tell, in their view, what is the right facts of the case, whether the delay is caused by the contractor or the employer, how much is the quantum of money which should be claimed, and also these are independent expert reports. And once all this is done, a final compilation of all the documents is done, what is called as the trial bundle, and then there is the final phase of the arbitration, which is called cross-examination or the final hearing stage, wherein the arbitration tribunal will sit down for 5-6 days continuously and have the cross-examination of the witnesses, have got hearings wherein the lawyers of both the sides are going to present their case, the witnesses, the fact witnesses and expert witnesses are going to be cross-examined, and then finally, final arguments are going to be done, or what we call as the closing submissions. And then we have got the arbitral award. So this is the very typical norm and life cycle of a construction dispute. Now, what are the problem areas? What are the pain points in a construction arbitration? Number one, there are several ambiguities in the contract agreement. Like, for example, whenever, and that's a suggestion for both the employers and developers and the contractors, that when you are entering into a contract, make sure that your arbitration clause is clear. What is going to be the language of arbitration? What is going to be the seat of arbitration? And what is going to be the governing law of the contract? So all these things should be clear. In case they are not clear, then you can end up into a what we call as a jurisdictional challenge, or a challenge whether arbitration clause is right or wrong. Then you have the fulfillment of the pre-arbitration award. As I just told you, you cannot just enter into an arbitration by giving a notice of arbitration. There are steps, prerequisite steps, which have to be complied with before you enter into arbitration. So therefore, ensure that pre-arbitration steps are complied with. Then there are delays in the fee payment. So arbitrators who are there have to be paid by both the parties, either through an institution, like now we have Oman Chamber of Arbitration Center, which is coming up, which is one of the institutions which is now going to govern in a major way the arbitrations in Oman. So either that institution is going to govern, or there could be ad hoc arbitration, which is just that the arbitration tribunal is going to form the rules of the arbitration. So the payment of the fees of the tribunal and the initial fees which has to be paid to the arbitrators has to be on time. In case there is delay, then it affects the arbitration. Then the nominee arbitrator, which is going to be selected by both the parties, should be done, and you should take care of the fact that the nominee arbitrator should understand construction, should understand engineering, and should also understand the law of the land. In case you go with someone who does not understand the law and only understand construction, then it is going to be a problem area for the party who is nominating such an arbitrator, and vice versa as well. Similarly, the lawyers who you intend to engage should also understand the law as well as the engineering and construction aspect. You cannot expect a lawyer who has never ever seen a cement or a concrete in his life to fight an arbitration related to hardcore construction. And then a lot of times we have seen that the arbitrations are quite old, or projects are very old, probably of 2010, 12, 13, and the people who were involved in the projects have already resigned from the companies. And therefore, you are not able to get the right witnesses to fight and to testify in front of the arbitration tribunal. So therefore, non-availability of the right fact witnesses is another issue which comes up in construction dispute. And then a lot of times, the construction arbitration budget also, there is an overrun, because a lot of applications are raised, a lot of disruptions are created by the parties, and as a result of which you see a time and cost overrun within the arbitration budget, timelines and budget as well. Now these are some of the problem areas which we see in construction disputes. Now let me now talk about the delay related disputes and claims in construction project. As per our experience, and most of you will agree, hardly there is any project which is completed exactly on time. And it is not that it is only one party is not responsible, and you would see typically both the parties who are involved in the construction projects, which is the contractor and developer, are responsible for the delays. Now, how do you handle such kind of delay related disputes and claims? This slide talks about it. So number one, you cannot say that there is a delay caused by the employer without referring to your contract, that whether that delay entitles the contractor to an extension of time or not. For example, if tomorrow there is a rainfall in the country, and that rainfall is not a major rainfall, it has been seen in the last years that such rainfall happens. Now such a kind of a rainfall will not give an entitlement to the contractor to claim extra time and cost, because the contractual and the legal entitlement for such a delay event does not exist. So you have to see that a delay which you are claiming as a contractor, or a delay if you are claiming on top of the contractor as a developer, has a contractual and a legal entitlement to it as per the provisions of the contract. And then second thing is, majority of the contracts have got notices provision, wherein you have to raise whenever a delay is seen by the other party. So for example, if you are an employer and you see that a delay is caused by the contractor, the contract has a provision that a letter or a notice has to be issued to the contractor, and vice versa. If a contractor is seeing that one of his drawing is getting delayed by the employer's engineer, then a notice has to be issued. So that is the provision of notices and all. So you have to see what is the contract terms and conditions and procedures related to such kind of notices and other submissions of claims, etc. Then in terms of delay, not every delay will cause a delay to the project. Please remember this very clearly, that in case there are delays which are caused by employer and contractor, the first and foremost is to see which is a dominant delay, which is a critical delay. What we have seen is that sometimes contractor comes running, that there is a delay in giving the size of a particular window while the foundations itself have not been constructed by the contractor. So this is a concept of delay analysis, or what we call as the critical path analysis or critical delay concept. So only delays which are critical to the project will entitle the contractor or the developer to time and cost. In case a delay is not critical, means it has not affected the end date of the project, you do not claim any time and cost for that. And then, of course, once you have a delay, you have to have a precise and a clear narration explaining the position of the delay, why the delay is attributable to the other side, and what are the contract terms and conditions related to that delay. Now, definitely if there is a delay, a party who has suffered delay because of the inactions or actions of the other side is going to claim cost, which is maybe in the form of a prolongation cost, or if there is a change in the specification, it could be in the form of a additional variation cost and all. So therefore, what is important is when you are dealing with cost-related claims in construction project, you have to identify what are the claim heads, what are the areas you are going to claim. Is it that you are going to claim only idling of the resources, means your manpower and equipments have been idle, but then you have to justify why are they idle as a contractor. You had probably other work fronts. So you have to identify what are the heads of the claims. Then you have to identify whether those heads of the claims or cost heads which you are going to claim, are they compensable under the contract terms and conditions or not. So in case you have a delay, for example, if it is a force majeure event, generally the contract says that force majeure event is an act of God, and therefore only time is going to be given, no cost is going to be given. So in that case, a force majeure event is not a compensable delay event, and therefore it does not entitle a contractor to claim cost against that. So therefore you have to identify what are compensable cost heads and what are non-compensable cost heads. Then you have to identify what is the actual cost which you have lost because of the delay or because of the breach caused by the other side. In case you do not have the actual cost, you do not have your financial ledgers, etc., the arbitration tribunal might not grant you cost. The law of the land says that only actual costs can be claimed, and not what you have not suffered cannot be claimed. So actual costs have to be, the record related to the actual costs have to be kept. And therefore you have to have those audited financial documents, etc., which you have to maintain. And you have to ensure that direct and indirect costs are properly bifurcated. And same way, in case you are claiming a change of the specification or a change in the contract specification, variations cost, then you have to have a calculation for the quantity and cost related to such variation claims. Now, let me also now talk about COVID-19 claims, which are very, very common today in the industry. And a lot of projects have suffered time and cost overruns because of COVID-19. Again, first and foremost is read your contract terms and condition, under which clause of the contract would you like to raise a COVID-19 claim. Today, a lot of people are raising claims under force majeure. They are raise claims of COVID related to change of law, because there was a directive from the authorities that there is going to be a lockdown and all. So therefore, people are trying to claim under change of law. People are trying to claim under frustration. People are trying to claim under unforeseeability, because they say that COVID-19 something is a pandemic which could never have been foreseen by an experienced contractor. So you have to see what is the provision of the contract and law to claim COVID-19 related time and cost overruns. And again, whether you have given notices related to COVID-19 is also an important aspect. And then all your expense records, all your progress records, all the resource records during the COVID-19 time also should be maintained and have to be there. And productivity loss, in case you are claiming that because of COVID-19, as a contractor, you were able to put only 2 people in a vehicle rather than 5 people or 4 people, which could have been there in a typical vehicle driven at site, then you have to have that documents, and you have to prove that there is a productivity loss which has taken place. And then legal opinion pertaining to the Omani law related to COVID-19 have to be taken. The current position under Omani law is still uncertain, because still the claim has not materialized, still the impact of COVID-19 continues to be there. So to conclude my presentation, most important is that record keeping is very, very essential by all the parties involved in a construction contract, without which you cannot win any dispute, any claim, any arbitration. Please be practical, and if you are practical and you understand and respect the position of the parties, you will be able to reach amicable settlement. And nobody wins at the end of an arbitration, so it is always better that as business people, amicable settlement should be resolved. And that can be done by having a practical consideration and respecting the party's position. Please do not be emotional in your projects and in your contracts, in your execution and in your disputes. We have seen a lot of times that the disputes are created because of the emotions of the people who are involved in the execution. And emotions have no place when you have got arbitration tribunals or the courts getting involved. They are not going to give any respect towards the emotions. They are going to go with what is the provisions of the contract and documentation. Understand your dispute and arbitration clause. That is very important. Please do not ignore it. They are the friends which are going to help you during difficult times. Timely notices. Please issue your notices and your letters, and wherever you feel that there is a delay caused by the other side, or there is any issue which is emanating, please do not shy away and issue your timely notices and all. And as I said, amicable settlement rather than arbitration should be the key. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Singhal, for the informative presentation. It's time now for the panel discussion. It will be focused on the topic, Way Forward in the Challenging Economic Environment. Let's invite our eminent panelists on stage. The first panelist is Mr. Hassan Muhammad Jum'a. He is an accomplished entrepreneur with over 2 decades of experience in real estate, construction, and facility management industry. He is the founder and managing director of Al-Usul Group, Atlantic Construction, Al-Usul International Real Estate Development and Techno Solutions and General Trading Services, CARTEX. He is also a member of the Entrepreneurs Organization. Please welcome with me Mr. Hassan on stage. Our next panelist is Mr. Fahd Al-Ismaili, the founder of Tibyan Properties. He has rich professional experience of over 18 years in diversified real estate investments and development projects covering areas of brokerage, advisory, valuations, and property management. Previously, he was sitting on the boards of Amran Group and the Oman Real Estate Association. Please welcome Mr. Fahd on stage. Our next panelist is Mr. Asim Al-Sijali, Chairman of Oman Real Estate Association. He is an award-winning professional with over 25 years of experience in developing people and business units in real estate, banking, and telecom. He was a senior leadership positions in Al-Moj Muscat, Muscat Bay, Aqarat.com, Omantel, Bank Dhofar, and National Bank of Oman. As the founding member and chairman of Oman Real Estate Association, ORA, he holds active interest in developing the real estate sector in Oman. Please welcome with me Mr. Asim on stage. Our next panelist is Mr. Himansu Mohapatra, Group General Manager Investments of Muscat Overseas Group. He has over 2 decades of experience in investment banking, portfolio management, private equity, real estate development, strategic management, and organizational development. He has set up, acquired, and managed multiple new businesses and projects for the group in real estate, education, healthcare, industrial, agriculture, media and communication, entertainment, and hospitality sector. Previously, he worked with the Sovereign Wealth Fund in Oman and other leading financial institutions in India. Please welcome Mr. Himanso on stage. We next invite on stage Mr. Yusuf Ahmed Al-Alawi Al-Ibrahim, Chief of Support Services and Business Development in Raisut Cement Company. He has extensive experience in the industry at Raisut Cement. He is responsible for taking the business towards higher growth, profitability, and sustainability. Please welcome Mr. Yusuf on stage. And now we invite our moderator, Mr. Akshay Bhatnagar, the Executive Vice President and Group Managing Editor, United Media Services. He has an experience of over 28 years in media and business events in the Middle East and India. At UMS, he is responsible for managing a portfolio of print publications, digital assets, business and B2B events, and strategic communication projects. Please welcome Mr. Akshay on stage. Over to you, Mr. Akshay.
Your Excellencies and distinguished guests, a very good evening to all of you. It has been a very special day from Oman's perspective today. His Royal Highness Mohammed bin Salman is visiting Oman today, and it is expected to lead to increased investments in the Sultanate and as well as boost opportunities for the business community in Oman. From the projects and construction industry's perspective, again, it's a very special day. Of course, project construction event is happening today and all of you are here. But what I'm referring on this is basically a very important project, an oil and gas project has been officially unveiled and officially launched today, this morning. And I'm referring to one of the most complex, one of the largest oil and gas projects in the country, which is PDO's multi-billion-dollar Jibal Kuf project. Our heartiest congratulations to PDO's team on the project, as well as the consultants and the contractors who worked on the project. In fact, many of them are actually sitting in the hall today. And all the engineers, all the technicians, the consultants, and the construction workers who worked on this ambitious project to make it a reality. Can we have a round of applause for all of them, please? Let me get on with the discussion. I'll come to you, Hassan. You have presence across various segments within the industry, whether it is the construction or the real estate, the landscaping, or the IFM services, and many more. How was the year for you this year vis-a-vis last year?
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Well, I would say still we are going into the area of challenges. Challenges are not yet over. As far as the construction and real estate industries are concerned, I think they are both, they have the lagging effect. So as the markets drop, I mean, they get impacted the first. As the market recover, they are the last to recover because they are mainly dependent on the economical activities of the country. I think there are certain measures which needs to be taken, especially when we talk about the interest rates. Today, the interest rates are quite high when we talk about 5 to 7% which is quite high because whether you're talking about investment in real estate, whether you're talking about borrowing in construction industry, we always know that high interest rates have reverse impact on the economies. So that this is something which we need to really, I think, work on. In addition to that, I think, of course, worldwide we have seen the pandemic impact, but I guess we should utilize this period of, what we have seen into, as we always say, diversification of the economy. And I hope this high oil prices should not be taken on ease, and we continue our efforts towards the diversification. So, in summary, I think still, I would say maybe we are reaching the rock bottom. So hopefully things will start growing from here. The signs are positive. At least if you talk about the rental markets, for example, rental markets, we can see some stabilities, whether into rents or into the occupancies ratios. And we hope that we don't see any new lockdowns, etc. Construction industry, particularly, I think it yet to see some movement. But at the same time, we can also see the pie is also decreasing because there are several companies have seen they have seen difficult times. So the players are also reducing. That's also something which we need to look at because unfortunately the economy has lost several skills during the past 2 years. You see, every market is very unique in terms of the way you build the culture and the skills which are specifically required for certain market. So unfortunately we lost a lot of, as an industry of construction, we lost a lot of skills for the past 2 years. To bring the skills back is something not easy. I hope we can see some support from the government, from the banks when it comes to real estate and construction industry in particular. If we look at today the banking industry in particular, today 38% of the banking industry borrowings to the markets are into personal loans. The construction and real estate industry, they dropped from 10% to 8%. When we talk 2% overall borrowings, that's quite a huge amount. In addition to that, banks are not yet reached to the optimum level of their lending towards their deposits. I think when we talk about 2018-19, we were talking about as high as 80-81% between lending to deposit ratio. Today, the banks are only at 78%. The 2-3% gives a good gap for the banks to pump in the money in the market to create some liquidity. That's all.
Sure. Himanshu, I will come to you on this, taking off from what Hassan said. Last year on the same platform, you mentioned your main challenges have been the 3 M's, which is the flow of money, the materials, and the manpower.
Yeah, correct.
How? Has anything changed for you this year? Are you in a better position this year?
Yeah, actually there are certain improvements, but definitely still challenges are there. If you see in the macroeconomic level, the revenue, public revenue has increased by 22% if you compare to last 9 months to this 9 months. Similarly, fiscal deficit also reduced by 55%. And FDI also during mid-year, last to this mid-year, also I think increased almost 600 million. So total right now FDI may be 16 billion. So there are improvement in the macro level. But if you get into the micro level, there are still challenges there in terms of first time, which is the money. So as Mr. Hassan told, the money are stuck with the the debtors we are not collecting, and there is no factoring facility. If there is a delay, even there are a lot of working capital and the cost of funding is very high. So because of that, many some small contractors, they disappeared. Even subcontractors have a lot of challenges actually. So the money part still remain in the micro level. Macro level that's improving, and that can be impacted, or that can be positive result maybe going forward. If you come to the human resources movement, last year we have uncertainty. This is a calculated, but still there is a continue, because if you say from March, April, which is the second phase come, till September, the movement of people was restricted. Even visa issue was stopped. So same challenges continue, the movement of people. Material movement, yeah, there are huge improvements. Okay, there are site cost of funding is there, procurement issues are there, but still much better phase right now actually.
You are into various industries in terms of the projects. Are you continuing at the same place, same pace, in terms of the projects, let's say retail and manufacturing and other sectors, or you have slowed down a bit on that?
We can say we reorganize and refocusing those sectors which will be the future oriented. So whatever committed projects we are continuing, now we are working on what are the future forward projects which will help for the country and also could be disruptive also in a many way actually.
Asim, I'll come to you. Represent for the cause of the real estate sector. We have seen the Ministry of Commerce and Industry and Investment Promotion, the Ministry of Housing and Urban Planning. They have taken certain measures which are targeted towards the real estate sector as well as towards the larger business segment in terms of ease of doing business, creating more opportunities for investments, coming up with certain more regulations which may be more friendly and creating more opportunities as well. Now, do you think that has been enough, which has been done by the government for you, or there is an appetite for more?
Well, this is quite an interesting question. In fact, any kind of a strategy or any direction that comes from the government, okay, and it needs to be given sufficient time to evaluate the impact. I do see that there are a number of initiatives that have been, let's say, promoted and brought in by the government, whether it's Ministry of Commerce or Ministry of Housing and Urban Planning. However, the impact is yet to be assessed. It's all back to the business cycle. So if you look at the recent introduction of the investment laws, and ownership laws in Oman, I think it's the indicator is still not that great, and as you see, the market is affected by the pandemic from one side, and also the banking sector is not, let's say, having strong appetite to lend in the real estate sector. It will take time, and also the number of projects that are coming up to the market that are available for those type of identifying this segment are not yet there. Generally, I think we are expecting a more, let's say, a dynamic approach in terms of addressing and resolving the dynamics of the market, especially when it is related to the development regulation, to the brokerage regulations, and as well as the system and processes engaged in terms of obtaining the approvals and licenses to facilitate and expedite the launch of projects.
Sure. Fahad, you are a significant player in the real estate sector, and we have seen you are launching new projects during the year. You are expanding pretty fast. Now, do you think the market, the regulations are all friendly for the real estate sectors, those who can excel despite the odds?
Thank you, Akshay, for your question. With regards to the market, I think the appetite is there for certain projects. And launching projects which are off-plan are something that we anticipate to execute within the next 2 to 3 years. Is something that also we project a healthy economy going forward. But as my colleagues here said, 2 important elements with regards to finance and volume of people. When the finance are parked there at the macro level, it makes it a little bit difficult for the cash to run within the market, and it creates a little bit of hiccup in the supply-demand transactions as well. At the same time, as you know, COVID also had an impact on the number of population without going into filtering the type of population, but the number has decreased, and also many newcomers into the country stopped coming to the country due to COVID situation. Now, when a law comes from Ministry of Housing and Urban Planning that permits user-fract ownership of properties for the non-GCC nationals, targeting the local residents. We need to evaluate how is that is helping the inner economy and the local market in the supply and demand of real estate. It has been more than 1 year since this, it's more than 1 year because this was in October 2020. And we really hope and we really wish to see some numbers and some statistics that can help us also project the way forward. Because launching those new projects, which are mainly targeted at the local community and the GCC investors, is not going to help us in the long run, honestly. As you know, more than the major percentage of the Omani population is below 19 years old. So these are not target audience to any project that we launch. A real estate investment is not a small ticket. So how many times will the individual purchase a property? He might do it once, twice, and then, and Tibian is not the only company in the in the market. So I think more demand to flood into the market, that will really help. Plus, interest rates needs to be reduced. We see the interest rates in surrounding countries at very low levels, below 3%. Over here is the cost of finance is really expensive. That in many cases it makes it not realistic to opt for finance, honestly. And then what happens? So people go to other investment tools and vehicles which are not real estate, and we don't like that to happen.
Yusuf, I'll come to you. The cost of borrowing is up. It's a major issue in terms of investments. Not enough demand in the market as well. But at the same time, Resud Cement is continuing with its very ambitious goal of becoming a 10 million tons per annum company, which you decided to become in 2017. And I believe you are on track to achieve that very soon. What gives you that confidence, how you are doing that as well? It's more like you're bucking the trend. Where others are crying, you are excelling.
But that means we will not stop our business, and we will not see, this is the pandemic, and we have to take the careful. Business, it is need to take the care, and you have the new strategy, how to develop your work, and how you will extend, and how you will get the revenue for the company. Maybe we have the short demand in Oman because there is not that much populations on the project. And also I think the demand for the cement in Oman, it is around 7 million ton annually. And total factory from Cement Oman and Resud Cement is produced more than that, around 10 million ton. But we are expansion outside the Oman to give the value for the company and the group, how to get the revenue from other countries and to deliver the product Omani to the world also.
See, when you acquire companies abroad or you are expanding your capacities within the country, of course, you are funding those expansions and acquisitions. The cost of borrowing is on the higher side. But do you think the demand will improve in the future, which will be good enough to offset your higher cost of borrowing?
Of course, the demand, project in the world, it will not stop. The population and the generation of the people, it will become more and more. And that's mean the demand for the buildings, the demand for the school, the demand for the university, all this it is need the cement. And all this it is need the ready mix of the how to make this all this the building. Population, it will not stop. Project, it will not stop. Maybe we have the short in the current time, but in future, of course, we're expecting from the next year something it will be happen. Even we are hearing around about the Omicron, what it is happen right now. But inshallah, nothing lockdown it will be happening and nothing short it will be happening around that.
Himanshu, I'll come to you. Do you think the private sector in the country is making enough efforts to innovate, to diversify, to meet the challenges of this market disruption? Yes, pandemic has happened. You never know, the other kind of challenges may come up in the future. If you are able to overcome these market disruptions, you can be the winner in the market. But do you think private sector is making enough efforts on this, or we are lagging behind?
It's my personal opinion, we are lagging behind. We are not doing enough to bring disrupt thing. We always depend the government to do, and of course we need government support, but if private sector lead and require government support and the right direction, it is possible. And disruption happen in many ways. It's on a technological side, it can be any other side where we can reduce time and the cost actually. Suppose any part of the world, in other part, if you say the manufactured housing or a prefabricated or modular housings is everywhere available. You can build in, even high-rise building you can build in a very short time. Even the low-cost housing you can build even a few months. Okay, so those we experimented. I'm not saying that's not done. They are done, but very limited. In terms of in the construction industry disruption, we have cement, we have steel. Both are, we produce more than our demand. Okay, but we have not a platform or a network which will disrupt to supply others. Similarly, let's say developer, if you have a platform where they can connect to all the stakeholders, the equipment suppliers, the material, building material supplier, and the labor supplier, and they can manage the cost, time, and everything, and he can have a very transparent way. And the contract should be cost plus margin. Instead of that, we put a bidding and they do whatever they want on the design, which is not transparency, and maybe it is maybe bidding in a lower side, and maybe they are bidding at a low because they have to work on a marginal cost basis because they have to recover some overhead. So this is the vicious circle killing actually. So we should expand as cement is, the cement and steel. If it's everything, if you say 10 years before, we are net importer. Now we are net exporter. So we have capabilities to there to do, but we have to disrupt to across the market to go, even for to benefit to our own economy and also our own revenue in the company level also. So many things can be done, which is there in other place. If you see, if it's a next door in India, there are a lot of disruption happen in the infra market. You can say there is a inframarket.com, you can go through, there's all supply chain is one platform, even they are reaching to the retailer, not with the developers actually. Even US and other market is there. So it is yet to come. And the government side also support is there, they are doing, it is taking time, as everybody told, it's a lagging indicator, we are also lagged little bit on that. But most important and critical, all of them told, cost of funding. Unless until we manage the cost of funding, no investors, no developer, we can progress because we are higher in this region.
Yeah, but Himanshu, we are talking about the cost of funding. At the same time, you also mentioned about undercutting, let's say by the contractors to win a contract. Now, how do you justify that? You will be caught in the wrong cycle of the business, and then you are doomed straight away. Hassan, like you have a contracting business.
No, okay, correct. That's what I'm saying. They are not willingly cutting it. Okay, they are saying it's a temporary. Let's get the contract. Let's pay our overheads. Why they are doing? Because of the circumstances, because of the competition, because the competition coming from here, and there are many reasons actually. Even they have not got the receivables to pay. There are many reasons, and I think our colleagues here, they know better than me what are the challenges they face actually. It is not by will. It is by compulsion. It is happening actually.
Yeah, Hassan, you have any comment on this?
No, I think whether you talk about construction, you talk about real estate, I think I would say there are three areas of pains which are common across these industries and maybe several industries. One is cost of funding, which we have discussed. Number two is the creation of demand. Number three is the ease of doing business. These are three main important things. Let's not sophisticate issues. Our area of pains are very clear. Solutions are very clear. We just need to do it. I don't think today we are in such a sophisticated economy. Neither we have so much of critical mass whereby we need a lot of strategies, a lot of brainstorming or out-of-box thinking. So today, if we pick, for example, construction industries, what are the issues today? Today, first is cost of funding and cash flow crunch. I would, for example, here request the government, for example, the central bank. There are countries like if you go back in 2011 during the Lehman Brothers issue, again, there was a big crunch in the real estate industry. Now, if you look, as I mentioned previously, you have a lot of set of skills which today we are losing. Building skills is sometimes is more expensive than the funds themselves. So now today, for example, if we pick up those companies who have been operating in the country and they have been paying tax for the past 10, 20, 30, 40 years, why don't, for example, the government comes with a scheme with a subsidized funding? I know in 2011, some countries, they have provided guarantees to these companies whereby they can go take these guarantees and take facilities over 10, 20 years. Today, the banks, whether they like it or not, they are forced to do restructuring over 10, 12 years, even for family businesses, for construction companies, to avoid provisions. Now, this is an abnormal situation of the market, and we have to think of such solution. So that's when we talk about, for example, availability of funding. Cost of funding, for sure. Now, if we looked at the magnitude of that, what is our total funding? And if we reduce 1 or 2% on that, how much that impact will have on the profitability, but at the same time, how much that will create an opportunity towards growth of the economies. Today, look at the stock markets, for example. Look at NASDAQ or US stock markets. A 0.25% on change in the interest brings the markets up and down. So markets are very sensitive to interest rates. Now, then we talk about creating the demand. Now, creating the demand, I think we have seen several of hundreds or few of hundreds people left the country. Unfortunately, I don't think we have clear statistics because if you look at the National Statistics Center's numbers, when you compare end of 2019 to end of up to date, there's only 200,000 difference, which I'm not sure whether this is, I don't know, but I think I would assume as a personal prediction is really more than that. We have to create demand whether by opening export markets, whether by bringing more people to the country, making people, easing the doing business. As an owner of Usul company, for example, today we have freehold projects which whether we develop or we sell for other clients. And honestly, we see there's a demand. The people are willing to buy properties in Oman to be sold to more than 21 nationalities. That was a surprise for me. Yes, we see some good progression. For example, the NOC for getting the residency earlier used to take 3-6 months. Now, on average, 3 weeks, which is a very good progress. I mean, honestly, that's something we should mention. So there is an ease going on now, but I think we need to increase such projects because these people have funds. As for example, Fahad mentioned the real estate as a project is a very expensive project. Their money is available now. Globally, money is available. Otherwise, you don't see the stock markets. They have trillions of dollars. We just need to attract it. So we have to create the demand. Now, I think there are lots of seminars, a lot of papers have been discussing that, so we don't need to, honestly, we just need to execute that. And the third is, of course, which we said, the regulations, for example. Now, regulations, some of them are process-oriented, some of them are fees-oriented. When you talk, for example, fee-oriented, we talk about, for example, VAT. VAT on residential is something I think it's not, we would like to have it. Most of all the GCC countries, they have waived it. It's still in Oman for the first sale for residential, we have the VAT. That's something that needs to be reconsidered. Even on commercial, for example, today, if you look at commercial, we have a huge amount of supply, whether it's shopping malls, other sets. So we need to come up with some enablers. And these enablers should be to work towards clear KPIs where we can reduce the supply in the market and encourage people to use the products available in the market. So whether it's VAT in that case, maybe revising some of the fees throughout the supply chain, and of course some regulation related to more like quantitative, whether it's approval process, whether is that I mean, mainly approvers. Of course, labor is something. Today, a lot of companies, I know, whether it's construction, etc., they are taking the pain of maintaining people on their OPEX because they are worried that if they go, they cannot get double clearances. This is something which I don't think it's fair for businesses, because business is about making money.
Absolutely, that's a valid point, you know. Now, if we look at another angle of that, what about the development of the national manpower? What about the standardization of trainings and the skills norms, you know? Now, Ministry of Housing has been talking about the National Spatial Strategy, which is going for a massive urban development over the next 20 years. The benefit has to go to the local community. For that, we need to build talent who can take care of it and manage it. How do we achieve that? Asim, do you have any views on that?
Well, see, I think the direction that is coming up now by the government, which is the building of the complexes and the humanization of cities, is a very important element. I think Oman overall hasn't been different than the national and generally the GCC countries, where we had abundance of land, we had abundance of money, people used to travel distances. For them, cost of fuel is almost nothing. And everybody wants to own his, garden. Everyone wants to have his, parking space. I think today we have reached to a point where we have to think, as like other countries that are planning in the 21st century by humanizing the cities. And that is for the betterment and improvement of quality of life of the citizens. And how that will apply, if you take a simple example, anyone who's, let's say, living in, in a city and he is working in another city, he has to travel. And there is a cost in that. That cost definitely will have an impact on the economic side of the individual. On the other side, environmentally, this traveling is affecting the emission, and the emission definitely will impact the quality of the air, and accordingly it will impact definitely the health of people. And if you look at that cycle, it's all about improving the quality of life. So if we have the cities are designed in a way where people stay within the city, for work, for walking, for sport, for recreation, for shopping, that will have significant impact on the lifestyle and the quality of life. On the other side, if you look at what is happening now, the main challenge still, we are building the same buildings. Every building is distant from the other building, and still we have to move from one location to another location by car. We are seeking parking in order to find another place. Sometimes we build, shopping malls where the parking space is much bigger than the shopping mall itself. So those type of humanization of city elements are very important to be adopted. I do appreciate that the Ministry of Housing and Urban Planning recently, they have promoted those 5 Suruh projects which are addressing these type of issues. And I hope to see more things happening. Today, I think if you look at the what you enjoy when you travel, let's say in highly populated cities, whether it is in Asia or in Europe and other parts of the world, it's the walkability. You can easily walk towards any destination, whether it is a recreation, it is a shopping, and also there are alternatives for commuting. You hardly use vehicles to move from one location to another. So these things definitely will improve the quality of life. So those things needs to be really put in the forefront of the future planning.
Sure. Fahad, do you have any views on this?
Well, I would say that we've been, since the unlock of COVID, maybe 1 year ago, we've been listening to many seminars and summits, whether it's online or physical. I think the major pain that all industries are facing is how to maintain the bottom lines. The bottom lines are the pain of every organization. And it's rightly said by Hassan, it's about the 3 dimensions he mentioned. I think that is very critical. In order to look into how to lift that and have a positive impact, and for companies to also generate good revenues, there should be a strong economy. Now, the strong economy is driven by people. I think more people flooded into the country, people will create purchasing power. The simplest business in the industry will work. If any small SME is there selling any product, will work. The construction industry will go back. I wouldn't say it will go back to a boom, but it will work. Building materials, supply of water, anything, name it, when it comes to construction, even supply of a simple thing like nails. I mean, there is a factory in Sohar that produces nails and exports to the US, and they're doing millions of sales to the US. Why don't they supply Oman? Where's the demand? It's not there. So I think to lift the bottom lines, the attractive finances should be there, subsidized financials should be there by the government. But what we are seeing in the market is a big vacuum over there that is collecting cash in terms of yields as fixed deposits and government bonds, and which is honestly not having a positive direct impact into the direct transactions. That is, of course, that is something that has to happen. But in parallel to that, we need to see more funds circulated within the local market.
Absolutely. More flow of the money or liquidity in the market has a multiplier effect, which various sectors can benefit ultimately. And of course, the GDP of the country goes up. We need to end the panel discussion, but before we do that, one final comment from your side in terms of your wish list for 2022. I know it's a very long wish list you all have, but a one important factor, critical factor, which we have to recommend to the government, what it will be. Start with you, Yusuf. Yeah.
I think in 2022, we need from the government to protect the Omani production. And if we will see in the cement, the dumping is there. It came from our neighbor. But what I mentioned before, our need in the country, it is not more than 80 million ton. And our factory and Oman Cement, it produce more than that. And even that, some products came from outside. We need some restriction on that. And also some support from the government regarding for the energy. If they are reconsideration the rate of the gas and the electricity, it will be the main cost for product. If this increasing, that means the cement it will be increasing, the real estate it will be increasing also, more expensive it will be came up. I think we have to have a look again on that.
So protection for the local industry, especially from dumping by international players probably
Yes.
to a certain extent, and of course the lower energy cost. Himanshu, what's your wish list?
If you say one point, I say there are many, but one say how to create demand for Oman, whether it is a real estate or our products. Okay, if you say real estate, everybody told there is a supply is more and limited demand, so everybody told we need people, but how to bring people? The government has opened up the scheme for the residency, and we have done, but that is so far it's not given that result. We have to be very competitive with our surrounding countries and other places. We have to make it cheaper so that people go for a long-term residency, and that will happen. One more thing, if it's our neighboring country, there is a short-term leasing. In Oman, it is not legalized. If you create a short-term leasing, it could also give some income, those who are personal investors or the local people taking a bank loan, not paying interest, at least on. Some are doing, but not it's legalized. So it is government earning also and they are earning also. Some regulation change, ease of doing business, creating demand, also the same point which all discuss, cost of funding. They should create a fund from the government support, banking support, just like a SME fund is there for this, what you call Oman Development Bank. Similarly, a diversification investment sector, there will be created another fund contributed by the sovereign funds and the banks or private sector to subsidize the interest as a project finance, non-recourse. So that if country believe on that project, foreign investor also believe on that project. If you ask for a balance sheet funding, then it is different actually. Now all happening in the balance sheet funding, not a project financing.
Sure. Fahad.
Well, nothing in particular, but I just hope that whatever we say and talk about is heard and actioned. That's what I would say.
Sure. Hassan.
All right. Before I give my list, I would like to comment on the national talent which you have mentioned. I believe the sector, whether it's real estate in particular and construction, we have a lot of opportunities for Omanis to be groomed and open up new eras and verticals. When we talk about real estate valuation, for that matter, we don't have many Omanis who are qualified in this industry. And today the demand is increasing as banks regulations are becoming more restricted, and people the mortgage business is also increasing in the country. If you talk, for example, about a specialized brokerage, whether it's commercial brokerage, whether it's a ITC brokerage, these are all skills which I think we need to develop Omanis and create opportunities for them. That also will help us into bringing the standards of the markets up. It also will give opportunities for Omanis to have their own offices. Whether we talk about facilities management, there are a lot of my colleagues can tell more than me. They are the experts in that field. We talk about landscaping for that matter. We talk about property management. Most of the verticals of the real estate and construction, I think we have a lot of opportunities, and I have personally done a small study about how big are these opportunities in terms of how much revenue is generated per annum in each of these verticals, and how if this revenue is being distributed towards different offices. So I think of course we need to make it even bigger, but we have enough critical mass to make such a statement. As far as my wish list is concerned for 2022, I have only 3 words: execution, execution, execution.
Pretty well said, Hassan. The final word, Asim.
Well, I think we've been, over the past few years, always in touch with the government, trying to collaborate, trying to advise, try to share grounds in order to improve the business environment. I think what I hope to see in 2022 is more bold and responsive approach from the authorities. I think they might take their own time in terms of reviewing, assessing all these things, but I think the businesses may not sustain until taking that long time to come up with a decision or regulations or putting these implementation in place. So definitely bold and responsive approach by the authorities would be best thing I would love to see next year.
Sure. Thank you very much, gentlemen, for a very open and a very engaging discussion. We will try from our end, through our media platforms like Dossier, Oman Economic Review, OER Live, and Alam Al-Iqtisad, to disseminate the key takeaways from today's discussion, the major points which have come up, maybe some action points for the government, and maybe for the larger private sector as well, what needs to be done by them as well. We'll try to push the agenda through our media platforms among the relevant stakeholders and the public at large as well. Thank you very much.
Thank you, gentlemen, for the interesting discussion. After some serious discussions, it's now time for celebrations. Time for the moment we've all been waiting for. Time to rejoice over the achievements of the industry. The awards this evening are aimed at recognizing overall excellence in the delivery of buildings, civil engineering, infrastructure, industrial projects, and real estate developments, along with allied sectors. Overall, we are going to present 36 awards this evening. We will be awarding the deserving companies, projects, professionals, and industry leaders this evening. Winners have been selected by the editorial board of UMS based on the nominations submitted on the Dossier website, along with few special awards. To start the awards ceremony, we request His Excellency Dr. Khalfan al-Shaili and Mr. Atulya Sharma and Mr. Saeed al-Mashani, Deputy CEO of UMS, to kindly come on stage to present the awards. The award of the evening is for the Best Construction Safety Initiative. It goes to a company for the initiative It's Okay, People Focused Safety Training Program. Yes, the winning company is Douglas OHI. Congratulations. Our next award category is Best MEP Contractor. The winning company has been selected for their excellent work for Hotel Al Rayhan at Al Moj by Rotana project. It's none other than Bahwan Engineering Company. Congratulations. Our next award category is Best EPC Contractor. The winner is getting this award for the project 400 kV OHL from another GS to Barak GS, and from Barak GS to Suwayhat GS project for their client Oman Electricity Transmission Company. The winner is Larsen and Toubro Oman. Congratulations, LNC. The next award category is for Best Construction Contractor. There's a tie between 3 companies for this award, so we will call them one by one. The first winning company is getting this award for their work on the Medinat Al Arfan Customer Experience Center headquarters and sales hub. The winner is Douglas OHI. The second winner of the Best Construction Contractor Award is getting the award for their project improvement on Sultan Qaboos Street from Al Mawalih Interchange to Muscat International Airport Interchange for Muscat Municipality. Yes, the winner is Best Infrastructure Developers. Congratulations. And the third winner of the Best Construction Contractor Award is getting the award for their project 132 over 33 kV Ghala Heights Grid Station Project for their client Oman Electricity Transmission Company. Yes, the winner is Larsen and Toubro Oman. Congratulations, LNT, once more. The next award category is for Best Manufacturer in Switchgears. The winning company is a pioneer in manufacturing low voltage and medium voltage switchgear products. And the winner is Al Hassan Switchgear Manufacturing. Congratulations. The next award is for GCC's Best Transformer Manufacturing Company. The winning company is a part of the global elite club of companies manufacturing a complete range of high voltage and extra high voltage power transformers up to 500 MVA and 400 kV class. The winner is Voltam Power. Congratulations. The next award is for Global Omani Company of the Year. This exclusive award goes to a company that is Oman's biggest cement producer with its own shipping fleet and operations network spanning the Middle East, Africa, and Indian Ocean. It's on course to become a 10 MTPA cement company very soon. Yes, the winner is Raisut Cement Company. Congratulations. The next award is for Commercial Vehicle of the Year. This award goes to a popular light-duty truck equipped with Cummins engine, ZV transmission, and Dana axles from the #1 commercial vehicle brand in China. Yes, the winner is Photon Omar by Gulf Great Sands. Congratulations. The next award is for Excellence in Integrated Facilities Management Services. This award goes to a leading facilities management provider with an excellent track record of over 15 years, earning an outstanding reputation and operations across the country managing various IFM facilities. Yes, the winner is Al Usul IFM. Congratulations. The next award is for Best MEP Supplier. This award goes to a top solutions provider in the field of HVAC, acoustics, and vibration, lighting, and others, and has gained the confidence of prominent clients and consultations looking for reliable and quality products and services. Yes, the winner is Middle East Engineering Solutions. Congratulations. The next award is for Best Interior Design for a Restaurant Project. The winning company is getting the award for doing the interior design of Al Ghanaim, an Omani restaurant at Al Khob. And the winner is Nexus Design Studio. Congratulations, ladies. The next award is for Best Interior Design for an Office Project. The winning company is getting the award for doing the interior design of the new office of their client, Oman Society for Petroleum Services, OPAL. And the winner is Tal Talati. Congratulations. The next award is for Best Project Design for an Office Complex. The winner is getting the award for doing the design for Madayan Headquarter Building. And the winner is Ayman Saif Al-Quri of National Engineering Office. Congratulations, Mr. Ayman. The next award is for Best Project Design for a Masjid project. The winner is getting the award for doing the design for a masjid in Al Hambar region in Sohar. And the winner is Dr. Lu'ay Al-Juburi. Congratulations, Dr. Lu'ay. The next award is for the Best Architects. The winner is a project architect with more than 8 years of professional experience spread over 3 countries. He is part of the Atkins, a member of the SNC Leveling Group, architecture design team, and has been leading a multitude of projects, including Intercontinental Hotel Redevelopment Project and Sohar International Headquarters. The winner is Mr. Luis Mejias of Atkins. Congratulations, Mr. Luis. The next award is for the Best Engineer. The award has been intensively involved and dedicated in project management and delivery, and has managed several construction and design projects during different projects' life cycles. He currently heads BDO's largest real estate design team. He is getting an award for Ras Al Hamra Development Project. And the winner is Engineer Amr Ibrahim Al-Hanai of PDO's Ras Al Hamra Development Project. Congratulations, Engineer Amr. The next award is for the Best Engineering Consultant for a Residential Project. The winning company is getting it for their excellent work on Sustainable Villa Project in Muscat. And the winner is المحور البياني. Congratulations. The next award is for Best Project Management Consultant for a Commercial Project. The winning company is getting the award for the Mall of Oman project. And the winner is Faithful and Gold. Congratulations, guys. Excellent work. The next award is for Best Engineering Consultant for a Commercial Project. The winning company is getting the award for the Dan House Muscat, an international school for girls project. The winner is Design Group Engineering Consultants. Congratulations. The next award is for Best Engineering Consultant for an Infrastructure Project. We have a tie between two companies for this award. We will call them one by one. The first winner is getting the award for the development of Muscat International Airport and Salalah International Airport projects. And the winner is Hill International Engineering Consultancy. Congratulations, great work, guys. The second winner for the Best Engineering Consultant for an Infrastructure Project is getting the award for their works on Musandam Airport and Deba and Metha Airstripes projects. And the winner is Renarde SNA Partners Consulting Engineers. Congratulations, Renarde. The next award is for Best Engineering Consultant for an Industrial Project. The winning company is getting the award for the calcined coke plant project for Samvir Carbon in Sohar. The winner is Design Group Engineering Consultants. Congratulations. The next award is for Most Innovative Design Engineering Agency. The winning company is getting the award for lead designing the Oman Pavilion in Expo 2020 project. And the winner is F&M Middle East. Congratulations. The next award is for the Claims Management Consultant of the Year. And it goes to Massen Projects. Congratulations. The next award is for the Real Estate Services Company of the Year. And the winner is Al Usur Real Estate. Congratulations. Next is the Cinema Project of the Year Award. The winner is Wow Cinema, managed by Grand Entertainment. Congratulations. The name speaks for itself. Wow. The next award is for Most Promising Mixed-Use Project. And the winner is Maysan Square Docom. Congratulations. The next award for the Best Sustainable Project, and the winner is Ras Al Hamra Development Project. award is for the best renewable energy project. And the winner is the first solar independent power project, IPP in Oman, 100 MW Amin photovoltaic power project of Petroleum Development Oman. Congratulations, PDO. The next award is for the best oil and gas project. And the winner is the second largest and most technically complex project in the oil and gas majors history. This is going to be the fourth award for this company this evening, and well deserved. The winner is Yabal Khuf Project of Petroleum Development Oman. Congratulations, PDO, once more. Now we are going to felicitate four personalities in the last set of awards for this evening. The first award is for CEO of the Year in Contracting segment. Under the winner's exemplary leadership, his company has bounced back from going into bankruptcy and emerged as a profitable organization in a short span. He led the company on growth path through acquisitions and diversification into new business streams successfully despite the pandemic-related challenges. The company's clients include PDO, Oxy, ROP, RCA, MOD, and Ministry of Transport, Communications, and IT, to name a few. The CEO of the Year in Contracting segment is Best Infrastructure Developer CEO, Mr. Anshuman Chakraborty. Congratulations, Mr. Chakraborty. The next award is for the overall CEO of the Year across businesses. He is the CEO of Oman-based cement company with operations in various parts of the world. He is a veteran in the cement industry with almost 3 decades of leadership experience in the cement industry across the Middle East, Africa, India, China, and Far East. He has been consistently driving businesses towards higher profitability and sustainability. In 2017, when he joined the current company, he decided to make it a 10 million ton entity by 2022. He is on track to achieve the ambitious target through expansion and acquisitions. He has opened the export market, which now generates over $100 million annually in revenue for the company. The winner of the CEO of the Year award is Raisu Cement Company CEO, Mr. Joy Ghosh. He couldn't make it today, so on his behalf, his colleague will receive this award. Please send our regards to Mr. Joy. Our next award for the evening is Business Leader of the Year. The recipient is the founder and managing director of a leading reliable, multidisciplinary architectural engineering consultancy firm providing a comprehensive range of cutting-edge professional services and implementation of engineering and consulting, integrated services, and design and project management, including building information modeling, BIM. Today, the company boasts of satisfies clientele base. A few of the company's iconic projects include Central Public Health Authority, Astor Hospital, Multi-Specialty Hospital and Nursing College in Karbala, Iraq, 4-star Hotel for ROP, Down School for MOD Pension Fund, Tier of Data Center for ROP, Royal Opera House Phase 2, Cricket Stadium for Oman Cricket, and prefabricated warehouse project for Khaza'in Economic City. Please welcome the recipient of Business Leader of the Year Award, Mr. Damodar Ramachandra Katti of Design Group Engineering Consultants. Mr. Damodar, could you please share a few words with us on this occasion? Thank you.
Your Excellency, my colleagues, and all dear friends, Assalamu alaikum, namaskar, and good evening. Now, it's a pleasure to receive this particular award, and thanks to UMS and Dossier for giving this prestigious award to me. It goes without saying, a leader without a great team is nothing. So this particular award is to all my colleagues who have made this particular event such a successful one. Thank you so much for that. With an organization which started in 2010, we actually boost a strength of around 120 in professionals, highly technical people associated with us. We are trying to be innovative and then contribute towards His Majesty's vision of 2040 to make it more sustainable and economical in terms of adding value to the construction industry. Thank you so much. And then last but not the least, thanks to my parents, my family, and my dear colleagues out here. Thank you.
Congratulations, Mr. Damodar Katti, and thank you. Our final award for this evening is Business Icon of the Year. The recipient needs no introduction. He started working in Al Khalili Group in 1996 and went on to become its chairman and group managing director, propelling the group into a new era. His experience and organizational skills have strengthened the group, which has led to its expansion across Oman, UAE, and Qatar. He is active in numerous areas and appointed in different positions, including Honorary Consul of Czech Republic in Muscat since 2017, board member of a Raft Fund, and a member of Oman Chamber of Commerce and Industry. In 2010, he became the president of the German-Omani Friendship Association. Please put your hands together to welcome the recipient of Business Icon of the Year Award, Al Khalili Group's chairman, Sheikh Qais bin Salim Al Khalili. Sheikh Qais, could you please share a few words with us? Sheikh Qais, could you please share a few words with us on this occasion? Congratulations. Mabruk. Thank you so much, Your Excellency, Mr. Atolya Sharma and Mr. Saeed Al-Mashani, for doing the honors. You may take your seats, please. Congratulations to all the winners this evening once more. What a great show it has been, and this brings us to the end of the Dossier Construction Awards and Summit 2021. Thank you all for being such a wonderful audience. Today's evening wouldn't have been a success without the support and cooperation of our partners and sponsors. Hope you will enjoy the dinner, and we look forward to see you again in the 2022 edition of the event. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.